Let me guess. Lately, it feels like stress is winning the battle, doesn't it? You're trying to control everything, every detail, every outcome. But the harder you push, the more it seems like everything falls apart. Am I right? Now let me ask you something. What if, instead of holding on tighter, you learn to let go? Because my friend, that's where the real power lies. In this video, I'm going to share something that could change everything. How to manifest what you truly desire without burning yourself out in the process. Yes, it's possible. And no, I'm not talking about magic tricks or sitting around waiting for things to happen. Today, you're going to discover powerful principles inspired by Stoic philosophy that will teach you how to let go of stress, take back control of your life, and most importantly, attract what you've always dreamed of. I promise you, it's not what you're expecting, but that's exactly why it works. Are you ready to unlock the power that's already within you? Before we go any further, I want you to step into someone else's shoes for a moment. Let me tell you a story that might sound familiar. Javier was a top executive, one of those people who seemed to have everything under control, a packed schedule, big decisions to make every day, and constant pressure to never fail. But at what cost? One day in the middle of an important presentation to his team, something happened that he never saw coming. His body said, "Enough." Out of nowhere, he couldn't move or speak. A panic attack left him completely frozen. Javier, the man who always had an answer for everything, felt vulnerable for the first time in years. In that moment, something inside him screamed, "What am I doing with my life?" On a friend's advice, he did something he'd never imagined. He disconnected. He went to a cabin in the mountains. No emails, no phone calls, just him and silence. At first, his mind wouldn't stop racing. What's happening at the office? What will people say? But slowly, something began to shift. As he walked the trails and listened to the wind through the trees, he remembered a phrase from Marcus Aurelius: "Accept everything that happens, even if it's different from what you expected." And then, as if a fog had lifted, he understood. Javier realized he didn't have to control everything for things to work out. When he returned to the city, he stopped cramming every gap in his schedule with meetings. So, what did he do with his free time? He made space for things that mattered, time to reflect, to take care of himself, and to enjoy his family. Now let me ask you, how many times have you felt like Javier, carrying a weight that seems impossible to let go of? Maybe today is the day to 1. Let go and relax. Imagine you're at the beach. You grab a handful of sand and squeeze it tightly. At first, it feels like you're in control, but the harder you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. Sound familiar? Doesn't it remind you of life? When you try to control everything, trust me, the more you fight to dominate every detail, the faster it all seems to fall apart. And there you are, stuck in a cycle that leaves you exhausted, frustrated, and further away from what you really want. Does that ring a bell? Let's be real. Clinging to constant control isn't getting you anywhere. It's like trying to drive a car with a handbrake on. What happens? You don't move an inch. All you do is burn out and stay stuck. But what happens when you release that brake? That's right. You move forward with less effort and more ease. And that's exactly what you need to do in life. Let go. Now, don't get me wrong. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting the process. And when you do, when you stop holding on so tightly, something amazing happens. Things start to fall into place on their own. Picture this. You're on a family trip. You've planned every detail to perfection, the exact departure time, where to eat, even games to keep the kids entertained. But of course, nothing goes as planned. There's terrible traffic, it starts pouring rain, and your kids decide it's the perfect moment to throw a tantrum. What do? Do you lose it because the universe isn't following your plan? Or do you accept that some things are beyond your control? Because, my friend, that's life. You can't control traffic, the rain, or tantrums, but you can choose how you react. And this is where Stoicism works its magic. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, left us a timeless lesson. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together. But do so with all your heart. It's like he's telling you, Stop wasting energy flooring the gas pedal while the handbrake is still on. Release it and you'll move forward with less resistance. Because at the end of the day, what matters more? That everything goes perfectly or that you actually enjoy the journey? I get it. This idea of letting go sounds easier said than done. But don't worry, I'm here to help. Let me share 3 simple steps you can start practicing today. Not only will they help you let go, but they'll also prepare you to relax and attract the things you truly desire. First, write your worries down on a piece of paper. Don't overthink it. Just write something like, "Look, I'm trying to control this, but I realize I can't." Then crumple that paper up and throw it away, literally. Why? Because it's like telling your mind, this doesn't weigh on me anymore. Second, use the red light pause. Whenever something doesn't go as planned, take a few seconds to breathe. Inhale to a count of 4, hold it, and exhale to a count of 6. This is your daily reminder that sometimes taking a pause is the only way to move forward. Third, make space in your schedule for nothing. Yes, nothing. Even if it's just 15 minutes. What can you do? Listen to music, gaze at the sky, or simply enjoy the silence. It's in those moments that your clearest ideas and deepest desires have room to surface. When you stop trying to control every moment, you begin to think clearly and manifest everything you desire. And here's the surprising part. When you learn to let go, life doesn't fall apart like you feared. On the contrary, it starts to take shape. This isn't magic, it's clarity. When you stop wasting energy on things you can't change, you free up mental and emotional space for what truly matters. Now think about it. What if today you chose to let go just a little? Not everything, just one small step. Stop clinging to the sand. Relax and let life flow. Trust me, change begins the moment you decide to let go. Start your day. Strong, have you ever wondered why some days flow effortlessly as if everything is working in your favor, while others feel like an impossible uphill climb? It's not magic or luck. Do you know what it comes down to? How you spend the first few hours of your morning. This is when you set the tone for your day, like tuning an instrument before a concert. Imagine stepping onto the stage without adjusting the strings. It would be a disaster. But if you take a moment to tune them, everything flows in harmony, right? Every note resonates, every chord fits perfectly. That's the key. What you do when you wake up not only shapes how you feel, but also how everything else will resonate throughout your day. Doesn't that sound like something worth trying? Let me share a personal experience to show you what I mean. One morning, instead of jumping out of bed and straight onto my phone like I usually did, I decided to switch things up. I sat quietly for a few minutes, took a deep breath, and thought about how I wanted my day to go. Then instead of letting notifications dictate my mood, I put on my favorite song, one of those tracks that gets you moving no matter what. As I made coffee, I ended up dancing in the kitchen. I won't lie, it felt a little silly at first. But do you know what happened next? That day went better than I could have hoped. Even the little frustrations that usually irritate me felt insignificant. It was as if that initial burst of energy set the tone for everything. Do you know who else understood the power of mornings? Seneca. He said that every new day is a gift, a blank check we should make the most of. He started his mornings reflecting, writing, and aligning his mind with what truly mattered. For him, it wasn't about reacting to the world, but preparing to face it. And you can do the same. Take those early hours and turn them into a space to focus your energy. So how can you start your mornings differently? Let me give you a suggestion. Before you even touch your phone, sit down for a moment and take a few deep breaths. Inhale to a count of 4, hold for a couple of seconds, and then exhale slowly to a count of 6. Do this 3 times. You'll be amazed at the difference it makes. It's like giving your body a moment to start with calm and intention. Next, find something that makes your morning special. For me, it's music. Why not give it a try? Put on a song that inspires you, one that makes you want to move. And yes, even if it sounds a little crazy, dance for a few minutes. It doesn't matter if you're alone in the kitchen or getting ready in front of the mirror. You might even laugh at yourself, and that's the point. No one has to see you, but trust me, that burst of energy can transform your entire mood. Here's another idea. Before leaving the house, take a moment to think about one thing you want to achieve that day. It doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe it's as simple as enjoying your lunch without rushing or getting through the supermarket line quickly. These small intentions not only bring clarity, but also become the first steps toward attracting what you truly desire. So tell me, how do you want your mornings to be from now on? Do you want to start in chaos, letting the day drag you along? Or do you want to take control, create your moment, and set the tone for a day that flows in the direction you want? My friend, you don't need a perfect routine or to wake up at the crack of dawn. You just need to start strong, with calm and intention. Remember, every morning is a new opportunity, and how you choose to live it can be the beginning of everything you've ever wanted. Before we continue, if you're finding value in this content, consider subscribing and becoming an exclusive member to access unique benefits. And tell us in the comments, what steps are you willing to take to relax and manifest what you truly desire in your life? We want to grow together with you. 3. Your mind, your best ally. Think of your mind as a puzzle. When all the pieces are scattered and out of place, it's impossible to see the full picture. Everything feels chaotic. But what happens when you take a moment to sort them? You group them by colors, by shapes, and suddenly something magical happens. The picture starts to come together. My friend, that's exactly how your mind works. If it's cluttered with disorganized thoughts, worries, and stress, what can you see clearly? Nothing. But when you give it calm and the space, what a relief. That's when everything starts to fall into place. A few years ago, a pilot named Chesley Sully Sullenberger faced one of those moments most people would call a nightmare. Picture this. You're in command of a commercial airplane with over 150 people on board. Everything's going smoothly until the unthinkable happens. Both engines fail after striking a flock of birds. The plane loses power, and all you see ahead is a crowded city and an icy river. What would most of us have done? Panic, without a doubt. But Sully did something different. He closed his eyes for a split second and took a deep breath. In his mind, there was no room for chaos. He visualized what he needed to do. Land the plane on the Hudson River without causing a disaster. Was he certain it would work? Not at all. But he trusted his experience, his team, and most importantly, his ability to stay calm. He manifested it. And do you want to know what happened? While alarms blared and passengers held their breath, Sully spoke in a firm, clear voice. Brace for impact. It wasn't just a technical message. It was a declaration of confidence. He was manifesting what everyone needed at that moment. Hope that things would turn out okay. Thanks to his calm, focused mind, he achieved something extraordinary. He landed the plane on the river and saved everyone on board. Epictetus was right when he said, "What disturbs us is not what happens, but our thoughts about it." Sully couldn't control the engines or undo what happened with the birds, but he controlled his mind. He turned a chaotic situation into an opportunity to act with clarity and save lives. And that's what we can learn from his story. When you choose to calm your mind, you stop seeing problems and start seeing solutions. So how can you train your mind to be your best ally? You need to learn to organize the pieces of your mental puzzle. Spend 5 minutes a day thinking about all the worries cluttering your mind, like scattered puzzle pieces. But here's the trick. Don't try to solve everything at once. How can you do this without overwhelming yourself? Imagine you're stressed about 3 things at the same time. A tight work deadline, a recent argument with a friend that's still bothering you, concerns about making ends meet this month. Now think of these worries as puzzle pieces. Take those 5 minutes to sort them. For example, put the work project in one corner, something you can start working on right away, marked in yellow. The argument with your friend, that goes in another corner, maybe in orange. You know it's something you can resolve later with a call or a message. Your finances, put that in red and set it aside in a pouch of future pieces to deal with when you sit down to review your budget. Suddenly, by separating the pieces and giving them a place, you begin to see things clearly. Not everything is jumbled together, and not everything is fighting for your attention all at once. You might not solve the whole puzzle right then, But something better happens. You no longer feel that overwhelming chaos. Just by doing this, your mind starts to feel lighter, like you're making progress on something that once seemed impossible to handle. Worth trying, isn't it? Remember, when your mind is calm, not only do you feel better, but you also open yourself up to possibilities that once seemed unreachable. Because a clear mind has the power to manifest what you truly desire. Maybe it's time to stop trying to control everything and start trusting more in the fourth. Do things with calm. Have you noticed? Rushing is like a hot pan with no oil. It just burns everything faster. And the worst part? Nothing turns out the way you wanted. Let me tell you the truth. Calmness isn't slowness. It's strategy. It's doing things at the pace they need to flow smoothly and come out right. Picture this. You're cooking for a special dinner. You've invited friends and everything is planned. But you get home late and start chopping ingredients in a rush. The vegetables are uneven, sauce spills everywhere, and on top of that, the pasta overcooks because you're distracted by the oven. When you serve the dish, it's nothing like what you envisioned. Sound familiar? Now think of the opposite. You give yourself time. You chop the ingredients carefully, enjoying the process. You taste the sauce as it cooks, adjusting the flavors. The pasta turns out perfectly al dente. And the result? Not only is it a delicious dish, but you also enjoyed the experience. Do you think that's just a coincidence? It's not. Rushing doesn't just ruin recipes, it ruins opportunities. And often we rush because we see others getting everything done, as if life were a race. But listen to me, my friend. Everyone has their own rhythm. Comparing yours to someone else's is like trying to make a plant grow faster just by staring at it. Marcus Aurelius understood this well. He said, "The mind is like water. When it's calm, it reflects the world clearly." As an emperor, he had enormous responsibilities on his shoulders, but he didn't tackle everything at once. He reflected, prioritized, and acted with calm, even in the middle of crises. He kept his mind steady to make wise decisions. It wasn't about doing things faster, but doing them better. I know, slowing down isn't easy when everything seems to be moving at lightning speed. But what if I told you that those small moments of calm are what open the door for things to start falling into place?